Here we go. Here we go. Forgot. Mic check, mic check. Welcome to the Respect for the Great podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Reed, and today we have another great episode scheduled for the loved ones out there. Today, we are pumped, we are ecstatic. We are actually going on our 56th episode. Round of applause. Do I got applause today? Let me know how this sounds. Yeah, let me know how that sound. Do y'all hear the hand claps in the chat? Let me know, man. Let me know in the chat. Software upgrade. Got some back. Some talk to me. They didn't hear it. No, 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 no. They didn't hear it. So let's do this again. Let's try it one more time. Let's go right here. Let's see. Hand claps, applause. Let me know if you tapped in with that right there. Let me know. If not, I gotta go to some audio things. Do we hear it? Let's see. Let's see. Still no audio. Audio. Let's see. Let's do some testing really quick. Oh, that's why. That's why I didn't hear it. You hear him? I did a sound check. Yeah, we gonna hear it now. Hold up. Let me know if you hear it now. Let me know if you hear it now. Yeah, we are back. That's the beauty of trying things, having trial and error. The beauty of us always continuously learning on the job. I think that gives us a leverage when it comes to our skill sets on how we just can be better suited for the next future endeavors. So I think let me go here, right here. Okay, Quay, what's up, sis? My sister Quay's in the building. I think that just gives us more leverage when it comes to how we do things. So today, I've got some pieces of equipment back. I'm super pumped. I am ecstatic. Still got to work out some other kinks because, as you can see, I don't have my headphones on. But I need your feedback when it comes to the audio. Let me know if I'm peaking too high, too low. Make sure you can hear the other audio. And we're going to proceed and do what we normally do. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Quay in the building. Yes, yes, yes. Lizzie in the building. Beautiful thing. So today, I'll just jump right into it. Today, most people feel like characters in their own life, not the author. They react instead of they write, right? They react instead of writing. The survival chapters instead of shaping them, right? They survive inside of their chapters instead of shaping them. That means that in this life, in this world that we are living in, we are going through tremendous amount of changes. We are the author of our own books. We are the only ones that can create that book, ideally, that no one else can write. That being said, we also write the narrative. We also tell the story. Today is simply diving into that, really delving into those pages, flipping through, thumbing through those pages, just and trying to figure out from our trials, our tribulations, and more importantly, our triumphs, our victories. We really want to get to a point in our lives to where we can celebrate those things that we have gone through, also recognize the past things that we have experienced, but more or less have this book in front of us and be able to tell a story like none other. The only person that could tell that story is you. So primarily, we want to really, really delve into that. I want to also let you know that it's possible with all of this pain that we have gone through of wanting to tell the difficult parts of our story. I have proof that we can really overcome this. Any powerful story, whether it's a movie, novel, or someone that you admire, it always has a struggle, the setbacks, the uncertainty that what makes the story a readable piece of literature, right? Those are the things that people really, really tune into. The story. We see the victorious things. We see people go through troubling times. More importantly, when people are at the peak, it's a celebratory thing. It's something that everybody loves to chime in on and say, yo, I love how they got there. But more importantly, how they got there. The key component is how they got there. A lot of times we see people in their lives and we see there was an overnight success, not knowing that it took them 10, 20, 15, whoever knows, however long it took for them to get to that part in their book or in their life that they see the victory, the victorious things. I want to let you know today that we all have that same promising end in due time, whether we experience it now, whether we experiencing it now, or we're going to experience that in the near future. We the only personnel that can write that part of the story where we are winners. Sometimes we are told the other story from other people. Are we going to get there? Oh, I'm pumped. Before we jump into that, man, Before we jump into that, I just want to do a really quick sound fit check today. As you can see, I have my rusted New York Yankees brim on, right? We have some Mets fans in the building that oppose of this look, right? But let me tell you, I'm a New Yorker, right? So I love it all. I love all New York teams. I'm always rooting for the Yitty in some form or fashion. Some people say I'm going with the Queen side, some people say I'm going with the Manhattan side, etc. I just look at us as winning teams no matter what. So I'm repping the Yankees today, as you can see. Also, none other. I got the great boogers in here, man. The diamond in the rough till refurbished and refined. Now you got the shine, right? So this is what it's about. Feeling that level of expression. That's what I got on today. I got the lights. You feel me? Bling, bling. Also, sentimental value. I can't go nowhere without my lucky charm. This right here is very sentimental to me. Passed down through mama love. Gotta keep the neck right, right? Feeling good. This right here is like my protector. Now, got a new added wristwear. As you can see, something added new to the collection. We got a good Seiko GMT. Seiko right here. Two black bezel GMT. Um, got the brown strap, as you can see, 39 millimeter, super comfortable on the wrist, looks aesthetically pleasing. Michael Spence, what's up? 82, what's up, love one? That's what it is today. So I'm really feeling like uh a new burst, a new vibe of energy that's in the building today. Primarily, it's always a beautiful thing when we're able to just to come and just do our job. This it's being in purpose. So although people hear job and they think just ideally work, but I think this is a work of passion. So the things that I do every day, when it come on this platform, it's a work of passion. So I want to let people know that although it may take some hardships, it's going to take some things like learning curves. There's some things I've been experiencing over the past four um, podcast episodes, just audio situations. And then coming in today, got the new refined equipment today, and still ran into some troubling things. But that's not going to break the spirit. That's not going to break the spirit. And this is what I want to primarily delve into, focus on about today. There are going to be things that come in your life when you read in that chapter. You say, "Oh, I don't want to go back to that chapter," or "I'm in the chapter right now where I'm really at the bottom, and it seems like I can't get out of this troubling mindset or the troubling mind state or this physical presence of nothing but negativity that I'm surrounded around, or the spirit of negativity, or the host of negativity." Um, there are some things that go on in our life that we all are human, that we all experience, and what I really want to just emphasizes that we all human. We all go through the same human experiences. It may be different, depending on time, place, environment. Those things may be interchangeable, but ideally, the sentiment behind or the emotion behind is what we all feel. We all feel pain. We all feel hurt. We all feel the need of wanting. We all feel the need of security. We all feel the need of wanting to serve and help other people. We also want to be helped. There's so many things that we have in common, more commonality than not. Us as being people, our characters are shaped and molded from some of these experiences. Sometimes when we are grown up in, say, a impoverished environment, right? And although there are circumstantial things that may warrant that or bring that on, right? We know it's still a mental mindset, because there are things where people are deprived, and in their hearts and in their minds, uh they don't feel deprived of anything. They feel like they are blessed at all times. I think that's more or less of where we're going to gear this conversation towards. But ideally, when you're not told or taught or have the experiences of seeing the other side, we get stuck and we stay in this place of mental drainage. We stuck in a place of mental poverty. And these are some of the things that we love to target, because we want to target the hardships. We want to target the hard things. It's easy to come against the mundane things and say, you know what, okay, this is blase, blah. Oh, this is normal, blah, blah, blah. But we really want to get down to the nitty gritty of how how we able to overcome the hardships. That's the main key component. Life is always good when we're good, right? Your finances right, there's no worry in the world. When your people is right, there's no worry in the world. When things are just clicking, everything's just on cue and on point, bing, 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 and you just seem like you're a winner 24/7. But the day that you suffer a loss, we feel like the world is ending. And what I want to do is I want to be able to shape and be able to turn that page in that book and say, you know what? Although in this chapter we may have came up against a difficult time, a troubling time, how can we use this situation for a better and greater good? How can we turn this accident, happenstance, turn that into a serendipitous moment, right? Turn this thing into something that will allow us to be serve us at a higher level. Initially, we feel like the hardship is just too much weight to bear. The weight of the world is on our shoulders. We feel like there's no way out. Today, we're going to discuss how we can get a way out. We're going to discuss all of the routes and routes that we all can take, that everybody can do. We can do it as an individual. We can do it as a collective. We can do it. That's the whole premise. And that's where we at with it today. I want to just reaffirm this aspect of it as well. We're going to break down the life in the book chapter by chapter and show how we can take control of the narrative so our story actually leads somewhere meaningful. That's what we're doing today, simply what we just expounded on, right? We got a plan for it though, right? There's also a plan. We don't do these things just by whimsical, right? We're not gonna go on out there and letting we're not letting the mind just drift off, and wherever it picks up, it picks up. No, we have a plan for this. We have a blueprint. There's a way that we be able to work this. There's systems, everything in our life, in our life, in our lives, in our lives. I say this all the time. I need to come out with a shirt or something that says "in our lives" to lives and life and lives, right? Intertwined into both. But there's a way that we can do this. There's a blueprint. There's systems in the world, in society that we living in today. In nature, they're all systems. Everything that we do is surrounded around and geared towards a system. So we start learning learning the systems of how you operate, how people operate as a collective, how people of a tribe, community, how do everybody learn how to play their role? We see this all the time in nature when you see when we see animals simply go out there for food. Sometimes they do it in packs, sometimes they do it as a lone wolf, but sometimes you got the what is it called, the hyena mindset, where you surround around 30 hyenas, and they going to eat because they know how to come together as a collective and have one common goal, is us eating. So when you have a hyena mindset and you coming out and say, you know what, we're going to link up, we're going to do this, we're going to tackle this together as one unit, more so than not, you come up victorious. When you go out there as a lone wolf, although they may be hit or miss, but you'll learn something about the individual, the instincts of a lone wolf, someone that's able to go out there and still be able to hunt, tactical, be able to use their skill sets, have to rely on their own sensibility. These are some of the things that we have to go through in our own lives where we feel stuck, even sometimes by ourselves. There were moments in my life, even though I had all of the hyenas around me and willing to go out there and hunt with me, I still had to take certain journeys as a lone wolf. Certain journeys I had to go out there and really had to navigate on my own. I had to go smell the scents, find the path, go run into a scent that's just dissipated in the wind. No longer that scent is still there, so I have lost sense of direction. Now I'm out there in the wilderness trying to figure out, well, where do I turn now? After I went down this road, ended me up in a place where ideally I'm kind of at loss. Then I go down this other path. This other path looks promising, but it's like the shiny object syndrome. There was things that were promising, so much, almost like a mirage. There's something down there. I could see something, and then it seems like there's food, or it looks like, whatever it is, whatever my goals are. It looks like that's off in the distance, and once I get close, it just only was a mere mirage. And then now I got to start over. I can start this process over again. So what it makes me think about when it comes to how we writing our stories and writing our books, there are different times where there were pivotal times, monumental times, character building times. In the book, here's the plot, here's the twist in the book. There's so many things when you read in the chapter. What's the context? What is the context? What is the story that we are telling? You got the power to write any story that you want today. Be able to turn those troubling moments into victorious ones. And that's what we're here to do every moment that we get a chance to share, and be able to enlighten one another and be able to take our stories. We can learn from one another. And I think that's the beauty of us coming together as a collective, so where we can share these same sentiments for a better tomorrow. Man, I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped. Let me get a sip real quick, man. Do you mind? Cheers to everybody out there that's loving themselves and learning to love themselves and getting to a place in their lives that allow them to grow. This is to continuous growth. This is what this is for. Right here, there's no alcohol. This right here is pure it's a lemonade, limonada, right? Mm. Your boy get really, really parched though. Your boy get parched, right? So uh is anything that anybody want to share or say before we really, really delve in? How you feeling today? How's your spirit? What's your drip like? How was your day? Was it a productive one? Was it a learning one? Are you pushing yourself to those next levels? 100 Wave King, what's up, babe, bro? It's my brother right there. I love him unconditionally. What's up, babe, bro? Babe, bro in the build. That's my boy right there. Yes, sir. And actually, he like big bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. That boy in that gym, that boy get massive on me. You heard? Boy, putting up that weight. You heard? That's my boy right there. How the family? He's a big thirsty. Absolutely. Yo, how's the audio on your side? Let me know. Lizzie said our audio is 2 thumbs up. How are we feeling out there? Is the audio right? Because I don't have the headphones in. Normally, when I had the headphones in, I'm able to navigate with the sound. I'm able to adjust on the job. So if everything is right, say, yeah, big bicep. Okay, legendary in the building. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, that's why I went with it. Did y'all hear that? Let me know if y'all heard that. Make sure the soundboard is still soundboarding. Is it soundboarding, Lizzie? All right, cool. Let me know if it's there. Let me know if it's there. Yes, sir, being there, right? So let's get right into it. We think about a book, right? There's plenty of books. I have a book right here, which is regular notebook, composition notebook. I have another book right here, The One Thing, Gary Keller. Another book right here. What's this? The Greatest Salesman, Agmedino. Another book right here. It's just a plethora of books. Why am I doing that? Why am I showing the books? I'm showing the books because every book has a cover. Every book has a cover. But each cover that I just displayed and showed is different. Each cover that I literally just showed is different. What does that sound like to you? It sounds like identity. It sounds like uniqueness. It sounds like a one of a kind cover. The cover that we have, the cover that you are one of a kind. You are uniqueness. You display identity. Before anybody get a chance to read your book, there's a cover, there's a shell, there's an avatar. That person that what people see and perceive with their own 2 eyes, that's what they're looking at, the cover. What does the cover display? Sometimes it could display style. Sometimes it has an energy. Sometimes it has a presence. More or less, it's communication. It is communicating something. When you see that cover, something stands out about it to where it's communicating. It has a message within that cover. It's trying to navigate into the home or the eyes or the minds of another personnel like yourself so they can actually get the message. Communication. Your title is your identity. Who you say you are, that's what that is. Your title is your identity. It's actually who you say you are. Perspective. Many people spend too much time designing the cover and they neglect the meaningful story. Let me say that one more time. Oftentimes, we people, human beings, we spend so much time trying to design the cover. And what we really miss out on and what we really neglect is writing that meaningful story. Perception. People perceive mainly with their eyes, mainly. But we know there's variations of perception. There's the mind. You can take somebody for their mind. I base that personnel off how they think. Oh, that person right there, another way. I can perceive that person based on their heart. What does their heart say? Oh, I can base that other personnel off their mannerisms. How do they act? Are we going somewhere? We are going somewhere. There are many languages. There's many communication things. Many communication. What's the word I want to use? Many communication factors or something, right? Navigation tools, whatever, right? There are many things that communicate to us when it comes to our perception, but it's based on what we choose as individuals to choose to focus on. What we choose to focus on. The cover is just the cover, and the cover is by design by the designer. So whoever wrote the book, actually, they the ones that put together the cover. But the cover isn't the end all be all. That's what we're saying. The cover is not the end all be all. That's just the epicenter, the message center, communicating a message, excuse me, to the masses. That's what that looks like. That's what that looks like. This is your upbringing, right? Your environment, your beliefs, family, neighborhood, culture, what you were told about yourself. This is like the early programming in our lives. This is what happens early on in our lives is that somebody was telling a story for us before we was able to communicate that and actually tell our own story. Maybe it might have been your parents. Maybe it might have been your environment. Maybe it's been the culture that you adapted to and towards. Maybe you should say, you know what? People like us do things like this, meaning that the birds of a feather flock together. If all my homeboys or homegirls are doing this, in order for me not to feel like an outcast, in order for me to feel like somebody that's part of the whole, part of the masses, the cookie cutter mindset, the microwavable mindset, everybody raise their hand, so do I, mindset, or without the individuality, that's what that looks like. Early stage programming. This is like the very beginning of our book. The very early stages is where sometimes this story is being told by someone else other than oneself. This can be very, very troubling and problematic. This can be very troubling and problematic. Sometimes we haven't wrote or written our own introductions, but you still decide whether the rest of the book is going to follow that script. Let me say that one more time. Initially, when it comes to that introduction of your world in your book, right? Somebody else might have written that early memoir of who you are, right? Written that early story about you. That environment said you come from this town, this environment, you come from that financial background. That's going to be your story. Mm-mm. They don't decide that. They might have got away with the introduction. They might have got away with the early stages of our lives. But the only person that can change that narrative and write a different script, me, you, the individual. So now that we understand that, now that we know there are other possibilities, there are other scripts, there's other things we could come together with and say, you know what? Hey, I don't like that. I'm gonna cross that part of that story out because going forward, I'm no longer gonna tell the story from a defeated personnel mindset. I'm not gonna tell my story strictly from the bottom. I'm gonna tell it as the uprise, the one that's on top. That's the story that I'm going to tell going forward. I'm no longer going to be the victim in this story. There are times where people say, you know what, I was victimized mentally, spiritually, physically. People took advantage because at that time they thought you was weak. We said this in our other programming, right? The reason why people love to take advantage or try to take advantage of us at a particular time in our lives, because what they really saw was the strength. They feared the strength. So at that time, whether it was physical brute, whether it was mental masturbation, whether it was the spirituality leading you down the wrong path and promises that you just wasn't aware of because you didn't identify and be able to build up oneself yet. We was took on a path, a spiritual path that led us astray because they know that if you start thinking as the individual of personnel, not saying that we don't think that we don't create collectiveness and a collective mindset, but the individuality, they see that strength within you and they wanted to tear that down. So they feared the strength. So that early part of our lives where people love to take advantage of us or they have is not going to uphold for the rest of the story. This new script that we're going to tell, this new memoir, this new biopic, what we coming up with now it's not going to match up to where we going to be at in the near future by the end of this book, because we coming out victorious. Triumph. You're talking about a victorious ending of this book. What is it called? I can't think of the term. Some of the S. Forget about it. It'll come to me. Ultimately, at the end of the book, we be able to tell it from that perspective. That's where the power lies at now. The power lies within oneself. It lies in you. So no longer do we have to tell those old stories. Those old stories was early pages in the book that we literally could rip out. We don't want that. You're going to tell it from a different perspective now going forward. Because right now, we're moving towards the middle chapters. Those beginning halves of those stories, we can negate those if they didn't serve us. If you had a wonderful, powerful upbringing, we can utilize those stories. We can keep those stories attached to our book. It's not the end all be all. It's just the stepping stone, the one page to the next victorious happening that's going to happen in our lives. Queen Godiva, what's up, loved one? Yeah, that's where we going with it. Let's think about it like this, right? Think about chapters. Chapters are like seasons in our lives, right? Each chapter has its own struggle. It's a chapter of discovery, a chapter of discipline, reinvention. There's times where we need to go back and reinvent ourselves. Beautiful thing. This is what happens in seasons, in chapters in our lives. There's a main idea for this, right? We never judge the whole story. We never judge our whole story just in one chapter. That's what we don't do. See, this is similar to temporary mindsets or temporary situations. We don't make eternal or forever decisions for a temporary thing. All of these states can be temporary, and they are, because the only thing constant in this world is change. So if we're the only ones that's holding on to not changing, we're going against the laws of nature, right? We're going against the principles that govern this society, this ecosystem that we're living in. So we want to continuously not change for the better, and we want to stay stagnation, and we want to stay comfortable, be complacent. If we want to do those things and not change, understanding that we're in a forever changing world and environment, there's something that's going to happen with us. We call it disorder and chaos, entropy. When nothing is impeded from an outside force and is left alone, it turns to disorder and chaos. What happens when that plant, we don't give it proper sunlight? It decays. What happens when you don't give that plant the proper nutrition or food? It turns to disorder and chaos. What happens if you take a piece of metal, you sit it outside, over time it rusts and then it decays? Same thing happens to us when we don't strengthen the mind. The mind is a muscle. So what happens when the muscle, when we don't strengthen the muscle, the mental muscle? Atrophy, not entropy, atrophy. That means that it shrinks, it gets smaller. We can utilize these things to understand that in our chapters, in our lives, they're going to be struggles. They're going to be times where we feel stagnant. We feel like isolation. There's no way I'll be able to come out of this situation, this troubling time, a victorious personnel. That's false. We always have the power to change. We always have the power to change. That's actually where your strength is at. Oftentimes, we told to look outside of oneself, and this is why we never get ahead, because we're allowing other people, places, things, vices to take control of our mindsets. Actually, we are stagnated because that thing over there said, you know what, you need to sit and move. You can't move. We caught by the spoon. So we over there, we have our vices. So that vice say, you know what, stay over there, keep getting X, Y, and Z, no pun intended, whatever you do. I'm saying that if these things are struggles, right, how about we leave that alone? Talk about oneself, just keep it on the eye. For me, love to gamble, super gambler. Everything around me, I see now, even point in time where they didn't have all of these apps and all of these things promoted in front of your face to keep you, submissive and docile. I was leading a path of destruction on my own because I couldn't stop gambling. I had poor habits. I had vices that was hindering my growth. So what happened was I was one that was stagnated and couldn't progress in my life due to the fact that somebody else had a stronghold on me. It was my vice of gambling. I'll no longer give my strength to that because I make the decisions in my life. So what I'm saying is that if you could do things responsibly and that's your cup of tea, by all means do it. But for me, I was getting drowned by it. I was being beat up bad by it. You want to keep my finances was taking a whirl. I was behind on bills, wasn't taking care of responsibilities. Take from Peter to pay Paul to go pay the gambling app, making sure I had enough money in the bank just to cover the expenses of the gambling habit. Working all week, every day, 8 hours a day, overtime hours, doing my own business, selling clothing, doing all these things, and then giving all that money and the proceeds to the gambling man. That's what happens when we allow the world to pick and choose the decisions for our lives. We can do that with a lot of different things. Our distractions. What are we watching? Sometimes we give all of our strength and all of our power to the telephone. We give all our strength and all our power to another personnel. We give all our strength and all our power to things that just don't move the needle forward in our lives. That was a chapter in our life in the book. There's only one chapter though. That doesn't have to be the full out read of our book, because we can start making decisions in our lives today that can change that. Because the only person that can write the book of your life is you. Although there were people introductory into your life that had a stronghold because they really see the strength. That was early on. They seen the strength. So they said, you know what? Let me take advantage now. Because when that person right there uprises, there's no holding back. There's no way they're gonna give me their power no more. Once that person start the uprise, once you start the uprise, can nobody strip you from that power, because the power is here. No money, no circumstance, no vice, no environment, no other personnel, people. Nobody be able to take advantage of you. They try, but the strength is already up here because you're mentally strong. The battle is always mental first. Everything that exists in our world today comes from the mind first, mental. There's nothing in this world that can't be created without the mind of thought. So that tells you that the things that we doing, the things that we experience, and the things that we actually attach ourselves to and towards, or started with the thought of someone else. So if we keep putting our strength into the thing instead of the mind, we already submissive. Think about that. We keep giving our power to the thing instead of the thought. What is stronger, the thing or the thought? We show that there's no thing without the thought. So what is more powerful? Thought. So why we keep giving our power to the thing, the TV, the television, the relationship, the family, the money, the car, the woman, the guys, all of our strength going to those things when the strength really should be emphasized on the mind and thought. Today we writing a new book. Yo, if everybody with me, man, let me know. Give me some thumbs up, some chats, man. Give me some fire emojis or something. Let me know that you with me, man. We in the building today, man. We are in the building. Let me get a sip of this stuff. Pude called me, said, Big Thirsty. Yeah, your boy Thirsty, I get parts, you heard? That thing right there, good. It's a good drink right there, you heard? Yeah. Some people quit the book because they don't like the chapter that they're in. Conflict, trials, tribulations. Every great story has tension, failure, rejection, loss, confusion. We have a perspective shift. There's some things that's going to change. Conflict isn't a mistake in your story. It's the story. The conflict isn't the mistake in your story. The conflict is not a mistake within your story. It's just a part of the whole story. A part, not the whole story. Without conflict, there's certain things that won't happen. There's always two sides of a coin, two sides of a bread. It's always two sides to everything. You have the in, you have the out, you have the up, you have the down, you have the left, you have the right. There's always polar opposites. The magnetic force, there's certain things that's going to attract you towards, and there's certain things that's going to repel. There are things that are attracting towards, and there's certain things that's going to repel. Conflict. If you're on one side of confliction, one side of conflict, what's the other side of conflict? Instead of fighting, getting along, going with, not against. Without conflict, we don't get no growth. We don't get character development. There's no reason to keep reading. If we don't have the conflict within our story, there's no reason to just keep telling the story. It's part of the story. These are the breeding grounds for perfection. When we have flaw, when we go through things, now that we have gone through that, we have the experience to share with another person else so they don't have to go through it. Or they can watch for, okay, you know what? I've been down that road before. It leads you to destruction. We can actually save somebody, save a life, save a loved one, save a person that you don't even know by spreading your message and your testimony. You have gone through things that most people or some people don't know how to make it out of. And it would take them years, time, effort, energy. And they got to be actually built like that in order to be able to endure the trouble, the troubling times. And if they're not, they'll be victim to the circumstance. I've seen this over and over again with other people in their lives. And there's times where I was a victim of my own situation as well. So I know where that can lead you. It can lead you down the road of spending time that you don't have, money that you don't have, exacerbating all the resources that you have. Now you left with rabbit ears and nothing to offer. But your good faith is saying, "Hey, I won't do that again, or I won't make that mistake again." It's not about that. It's about understanding that during that troubling time, excuse me, that's the breeding grounds for growth. So now you'll be able to learn the ins and outs of that thing in order to save yourself and save someone else in the future, because those things will come up disguised in another form of fashion, leading you with temptation. It's like the carrot on the fishing line to a rabbit. You know, keep trying to run around and grab the carrot, but there's no way. It's just like it's a shiny object syndrome. We just caught in the law. We caught in the law. So we see the things around us and be like, I want that. We can't stop our spending habits. We can't stay out of the boom boom room. We can't stay out of the club. We can't stay out of, put 2 on that parlay tonight. Put 200 on that parlay tonight. Or we can't go, give me, I need another. I gotta go up tonight. Gotta go up tonight. So we still go, we delving into those type of things. It's a plethora of things that lead us towards temptation. And what I'm saying is that it will come disguised, looking like the shiny object syndrome, if we don't have our awareness up. The benefit that you have is that you have gone through it already. So you know what it looks like. You see similarities. You see certain things. You see the patterns. And that happens all the time. When you start to recognize patterns in your life, you say, you know what? I've done this. When I started to do this type of thing right here, I know how my life started to turn. We are creatures of habits. You start doing the wrong things, it leads you in troubling times. You start doing some of the right things, it start leading you towards more of a promising future for where you want to end up at. So we the ones that are writing our stories every day. We the ones that have that strength to detail and say, you know what? During this happening, this is what happened. I'm gonna tell it from this perspective. I'm not telling it from a victimhood mindset. I'm telling it from the story where I came out and I won. Because if you are here today and you somehow this pod or this conversation I found you, understand that you're a living testimony in this moment, even if you're going through it right now, because you still can write that story from a victorious perspective. Yes, we know things are tough. Yes, we know things are hard. Yes, we know there's things are mentally draining you. Yes, we know there are things to where it's isolating you from the things that you want to be attracted towards. We know that, yes, my pockets are slim, they hurting, and yes, you go through those things. Life be lifing. But that's not a reason for you to end your book. That's not a reason to say I'm closing this and it's over. It's only temporary. It's a season. Each chapter is a season. So understand there are seasons. We talk about the ant. The ants start to prepare for the winter in the summer. They go grab their food in the summer every day. Everybody out partying, turned up to the mid-ax, right? Everybody doing a 1-2. The ant is gathering the food and burying the food for the winter because they know that they can't go out there and hunt and get their food because 9 times out of 10, the soil too hard. There's no food around. Everything's frozen. So that's what we do. We prepare for the next seasons while we in one. Right now, if you're in a troublous season, prepare for the victorious one. Prepare yourself mentally for the victorious one. Right now, if you win in and you seem like you just can't miss, understand conflict is going to happen. Troubling times are going to come. But now we be able to weather the storm because now we prepared. We prepared up here mentally. We are creators, continuously creating the world that we living in. Keep creating the world that you want to experience, not the one that someone else experienced for you or the one that everybody else had created for you. Say that this is the one that you have to live. This is the story that you have to tell. We don't want to have to go off with nobody else tell us the story about ourselves. So that at that point, we're not the author. If we keep allowing other people to tell our stories, at that point, we're not the author. And then we just can close the book and let everybody else keep telling our story for us. We don't want to do that in this day and age because there's so much strength that you have that most people don't know about. Most people don't know how many things that you have gone through and made it out of and still here today, still pushing forward. Your story alone give credence to somebody out there to want to go up and get themselves together. When I hear people that have gone through troubling things and they're still kicking and pushing and fighting, it gives me inspo. It gives me inspired to want to be able to do the same thing, to say, you know what, I got more fight in me. Yeah, although, yeah, I may have some pain in my arm, but I know this person right here that don't have no arms. This person right here that got pain in their legs, they pain in their feet, pain in their back, and they not complaining and still doing the job. But I'm looking for the easy way out. I'm looking for a way to quit. That's not telling the story of someone being victorious. Somebody else's troubling time can be inspiring to other people as well, including myself. I love to hear stories, not just from the troubling times, but the victories as well. I just love to hear the story. We talked about that earlier. They said the overnight success happened in 10 years. It was a 10-year gap of ups, downs, trials, tribulations, triumphs, etc. So it was a plethora of narratives that were painted, pictures that were painted throughout that story. Yeah, we got a pictorial book, we got a picture book, and we see all the pictures of the glamour and glitz, but we also flip to certain pages and we see, down and out, sadness, hardship, pain, fear, financial woes. All of these things are seasons within the book, chapters within the book, but we don't have to hold on to them near and dear to keep telling our story for the near future. We don't want to do that. Understand about character, who you become. Your experiences are shaping your character. Your experiences are shaping your character. Discipline versus distraction, faith and fear, faith versus fear, growth versus comfort. These are the things that keep continuously making us become the person that we desire to be. The discipline versus distraction. Okay, I'm avoiding the distractions and I'm being disciplined. Faith of a mustard seed versus the fear. False evidence appearing real. That's what fear is. Fear is just false evidence that appears to be real. I negate that. I'm going with the faith with a knowing because I know that I'm purposeful. You are purposeful. And every day we have the power to create that. See, most people continuously trying to find purpose. You don't find purpose, you create it. This is where we keep giving power to other things other than self. We keep going outside of self on search. They say if we searching for things and if we chasing things, that means that is running away from us. If we are chasing things and we trying to run down the bag, run down the money, run down this, that means that is running away from you. We supposed to be attracting That's when you know you have the faith of a mustard seed, because I'm doing what I need to do every day. It's going to show up in due time. It may be 5 years from now, maybe 10 years from now, but I got the faith of a mustard seed. I'm not worried about it because I know every day I'm in purpose because I'm creating it. I'm in purpose because I'm creating it. I'm not in search for it. I'm not trying to chase. I'm attracting. That's what you do in your book, in your life. You can attract. We don't have to wait around for people to keep telling us our story. Nah, you can tell your own story. How about you focus on your story? No pun intended. Worry about your story. Do what you got to do. I'm gonna do what I got to do. You do what you got to do. That's what this. Hey, that's all I'm saying. Um, you're just not writing a story. You'll become the person worthy of ending what you want, of the ending you want. You're the person worthy of creating that ending that you ideally want. Plot twists, right? Unexpected moments, things that just happen abruptly. Life does that. They throw things at us. We're like, oh, we got to dodge. Oh, we got to dodge that. Oh, this thing hit me dead on. What do I do now? Opportunities that you didn't plan on or creep up on your doorstep. That's another happenstance that happened by chance, by accident. It may even be an opportunity, not just the woe. Sometimes we say, yo, man, life's just throwing curveballs and twists. Don't even know that your opportunity is within that twist. Everything don't have to be negated for the wrong. Just because things took a turn, that doesn't mean that that turn is going to lead towards destruction. Sometimes sometimes we got to be taken off our own courses because we need to be redirected. Sometimes ourselves need to be redirected. Sometimes we're going down a path that's not promising to us. So life just be life, and miraculously something just happens abruptly and our life take a twist. Our lives take a twist and not even know that's a blessing in disguise. Just as well as there are things that are hitting with the shiny object syndrome that's in disguise as well for the wrong reasons, right? The shiny object syndrome. There are other things that could be blessings in disguise as well, still in disguise. But we have the ones that have that level of discernment to figure out what is what. So we can't be led by fear. So when things just happen abruptly, we can't fear that. We got to embrace what's coming and then say, you know what? I'm going to handle this to the best of my ability. So we're not running away from anything. We're not chasing anything. We're attracting. That happenstance happened in your life for a serendipitous serendipitous happening that's going to serve you for the near future. This accident miraculously turned out to be something for me and my better and greater good. That's what's going to happen. Plot twist. So now no longer when things happen to me in my life, I don't question why me? Why me? Why me? Don't even know that it looks like a hardship. It's disguised as a hardship, but it's really a blessing. Cool. Let me tell you again. Sometimes those hardships, those twists, those abrupt happenings are really working for your better and greater good. It's really a blessing in disguise. Let's go. We working. Yo, let me know if you with me, man. I had to double back. Clock that. Clock that. Absolutely, Lizzie. Clock that. You feel me? Let's go, man. We rewriting. Every moment we are writing. Right now, we are scripting out our new script. We are scripting out a new script. We are introducing this. Okay, here's our pilot. Here's our pilot. We got our pilot shot. We bringing this to the people. Yo, what you think about this side of the story? Everybody else was telling the other side that I didn't really want to be told. Everybody want to harp on the hardships that I've gone through. Everybody want to take advantage of those troubling times where they thought they was getting the best of you. Life just thought it was getting the best of you. Not knowing that, hey, look, I was writing a different script. Jerry Seinfeld, they said what he does, right? In order to perfect his craft. He said that what he does in order for him to be a better writer, we can learn this as well. right? In order for us to be better writers, sometimes we have to lock ourselves away and focus on what's in front of us. Just move the pen. They said that what Jerry Seinfeld had done, right, over his career, every day he does this. He takes time out for himself and he puts himself in a room. And inside this room, he can only do one or two things. He can do nothing at all, or he can write. One more time. Jerry Seinfeld locks himself away in a room and he can only do one of two things. He can do nothing at all, or he can write. What he had done over that time is that he perfected his craft. It allowed him to get more creative. It allowed him to sit with oneself. It allowed him to trust his own thoughts. It allowed him to get more comfortable with oneself. See, a lot of times we are so disconnected from oneself because we don't spend time with ourselves. There are various times, even in my life, I find pockets of me time. It may not be all the time because sometimes, you are needed and wanted in different places depending on what type of hat you wear or multiple hats that you wear. So what I learned to do instead of getting frustrated, because I used to feel I used to get frustrated. I used to give my time, energy, resources to everybody, and I felt like I didn't have nothing for me. And I used to stir up anger because all I wanted was a peace of mind, a peace to me. So I said, "Oh, okay, there's nothing wrong with you wanting to have a peace of mind and wanting to be by yourself, to be able to gather oneself." So what I learned to do is have pockets for oneself. And that allowed me to still continue to go and serve at the highest level I can for other people. And not doing it from a disdain perspective. Because in my mind, as I'm serving, I want to be self-centered in the moment because I just want a piece of me. And not knowing why my acts of servitude are rubbing off the wrong way. And it feels like, okay, I don't want to be here when I'm actually trying to help and serve another personnel. All it was is me trying to find pockets for oneself, to gather oneself, to get comfortable with me. That's okay. Because how can you show up the best version? Tiana said this, and shout out to Tiana, cousin Ty. Tiana said that we give so much of ourselves to other people, and you feel like you left with nothing for self. And that's why I felt at one point in time too, just kept offering oneself and not having a piece of me. And I learned to get a piece of me back by finding those pockets to where, you know what, it may be 10 minutes out of the day. I know in the mornings, that's just my time. I get up in the morning, I do my prayer, I get a piece of reading material, I do my combination codes, I can connect it. Those are the things that's the most fundamental foundational thing that I have with me in my life. Just to get my day started on the right path. Talked to Mama Love today. Mama Love said, "Did I bother you the wrong time? Did I bother you during prayer?" Nah, Ma, I got that out the way already. She said, "Oh, boy, you early." Absolutely, Mama Love. I get to it. First thing I do, wipe the eye, brush the jibs. I go and I give those blessings. I connect with oneself. I find the time for peace in me and connect with the Creator. That's just what I do. It may not work for you. That may be you may just say, I get up at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. That's your thing. Your time for you may come at the wee hours, 2 a.m. in the morning, 12 o'clock at night. Who knows? All I'm saying is that you got to be able to find time to make sure that you're able to recenter yourself so you can show up the best version for other people. That's what Ty said. She said that in order for her to show up the best way she can for other people, she had to learn to put that trust in oneself and be able to take time out for oneself. And I think that's one of the most key components about us being able to do acts of servitude and be there for other people. We got to find those pockets for oneself so we can show up the best version for ourselves. Affordable car rentals. What's up, cousin? Cousin in the building. Heavy car movement out there. Shout out to Affordable Car Rentals. They're doing A1-2, zipping it. Listen, man, you need to go there. You need a car. You need a rental, man. Don't hesitate. Go to Affordable Car Rentals. Affordable Car Rentals. Easy. How you say easy process. All it is a phone call. Go in there, come with the money on, you getting in the car. Come with the right paperwork. Make sure that you're legit. Got to be legit. Got to be legit. Come legit. Got the and just get, hop in the car and go take care of your business. Absolutely, that's what we're here for. Affordable car rentals, man. Don't miss out. The best car rental place in the game. Become a fan enterprise. Become a chill, Lizzie. Chill. I'm trying to get in my bag. I'm trying to get in my bag, cuzzo. I was about to go crazy on the ad. Oh man, powerful. Yes. What we're gonna do is this, right? You can't change what happened, right, in our lives, but you can change the meaning behind it. You can change the meaning behind it. You can't change what happened. You can change the meaning behind what happened. We can tell a different story. We can tell a different narrative. We're not going to be the victim in that story. We're going to be the victorious within that story. Really quick, a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Oh man, we get a word from my sponsors. Very important because we had a lot of sponsors out there today, man. Affordable Car Rentals is one of our sponsors today, man. Shout out to Affordable Car Rentals. We coming up with another sponsor at this very moment. Just sit tight, and we'll be right back shortly. Peace, beloveds. Thank you for tuning in to the Respectfully Great podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Reed, and I appreciate your continuous support. Do you know that over 80% of the people that watch our channel aren't subscribed? By subscribing to our channel, you give us the opportunity to bring on more guests to add more value to our channel. To join our growing community, head over to respectfullygreat.com, sign up for our email list to get exclusive updates on empowering blogs, as well as the latest and greatest in Respectfully Great fashion. Once again, it's nothing but big love, and we value your commitment. What's up, loved ones? We are back. Man. That was a word from my sponsors, Respectfully Great. Oh, in the meantime, if you are enjoying this, if you are enjoying this, don't forget to hesitate. Don't hesitate. Don't forget to share the link. Invite people over to the platform, Instagram, YouTube, StreamYard, Facebook. Shout out everybody that's on those platforms tapped in. But it's nothing but unlimited love and support. Appreciate you guys. Unlimited blessings to you. If you can, for any if this serves you in any way or serve another personnel, to give those thumbs up on the YouTube video itself, because we'll be able to push out that algorithm to reach more people and be able to spread the message in a positive manner. So please do that. If you can, if you found this video served you in any manner, just give some thumbs up so we can be able to push out that algorithm to other people so they be able to get wind of the conversation that we have in here today. Also, give yourselves a round. I'm gonna give yourselves a round of applause for you guys just being here with us in real time, right? Round of applause to the people, man. Yes. Absolutely. So let's get to it, right? We almost there. We almost at the framework. We almost getting there. We almost there, right? So right now we are in a current chapter, right? We are actively writing out our plans, our book, right? Think of it like this, right? Our habits will equal out to be maybe our synthesis. If we're writing in the book, our habits, the things that we do daily, the things that we are routinely involving ourselves in, that will be the synthesis on the sheet of paper that we are writing, right? If we think about it in that same type of context, within that sentence, you have one sentence, two sentences, three sentences. At the four sentences, we turn that thing over to a paragraph, right? They say 4 to 5 sentences within back to back considered to be a paragraph. So maybe we have our habits equaling out just to be in the sentences. If we turned our decisions, right? Not just what we're doing. When we start to decide, imagine we deciding on what we want to write down on that paper. We could turn that in. We could formulate different paragraphs, right? 4 paragraphs equals what is that? 4 paragraphs is what do you call it? 4 or 5 sentences is yeah. 4 paragraphs. You got a good essay. 4 sentences. 4 Yeah, 4 or 5 sentences is a paragraph. 4, 5 paragraphs. You got a good old essay right there. So, how extensive you want to make it, but that's what we're doing today. So imagine your habits, the things that you're doing daily. Just writing out your sentences. One sentence on a sheet of paper. Your habits, the things you're doing daily. Okay, I get up, do my routine when it comes to prayer. That's one sentence. I go in there, have some piece of the reading material. That's the second sentence. Then after that, I go and I hit gym, right? Another sentence. Go in there, get some good old protein in the morning, get, ready for the day. Get some good drink, give me good, gotta nourish, right? Have some sustenance, some good nourishment. Put that in my body so I'll be able to go out there and conquer the world. That's one paragraph down. Throughout the day, throughout my segment, I'm trying to complete this essay by the end of the day. Today I got this essay to complete, and I'm starting off on the right foot with my habits, initially starting off with my habits. And I'm putting these things down in sequence in order to allow me to get through the day. And I said, I completed my day. This is one essay down. This is this is one page down within this book that I'm writing. Because we know we got a whole book to write. And every day we are writing the story. Every day we are writing a story. So there's going to be one page that's going to be down. But we can build this page up by the sequencing of things that we actually want to implement within our story. How we want to write the story. What parts of the story do we want to tell? Jonathan, what's up, my boy? Jonathan in the building today. What's up, my boy? Hope you and the family are doing well. Yes. You don't write a book all at once. It's a daily thing. We don't write the whole book in one day. It's a daily thing. That's what we're doing. This is what we're doing. As we keep continuously writing the story has to come up on the ending. It's a legacy. It's a fulfillment. That's how we get to the ending of the book. Although it's still not said and done when it's all over. But how do we reach to those moments in our lives where we can say, this book right here that I'm writing, this right here is going to be a bestseller? How do we write that bestseller? We coming out victorious at the end of our book because we say every day I'm writing the parts of the story that I want to tell, because I want this to be a great book, and I want to give some life gems in it. I'm gonna give my perspective. I'm gonna give my ideas. I'm gonna give my hardships. I want to show you how I overcame things. Every day we can write. That's like simply writing down your journal. When you write down your thoughts, your feelings, your perspectives every day, that's your journal. That's your memoir. So when people open up that book and they say, "Yo," they don't want to tell your people say, "Yo, how did Johnny think?" Oh, you know what? You don't have to wait for nobody else to tell them. You don't have to wait for nobody else to tell the world on how you thought, because they go inside of your book and they go inside of your journal, and then there it is. Came straight from the horse's mouth. Came straight from your mouth. Came straight from your mouth. You telling it like it is from your perspective. There's nothing better than you telling your own story. A happy ending isn't by design. Isn't luck. Happy ending isn't luck. It's by design. The happy ending isn't by luck. It's by design. You're the designer. You're the creator. You created the first cover that led other people to perspectives, ideas. Although we know that the cover isn't the story. We also know that the very beginning, right? The introductory, right, to our story. We know that other people had a hand in it. That's okay, because we now know that we got levels of discernment. We can pick and choose what we want to write about our own story. We don't have to wait for nobody else to tell it for us, because right now we can continuously write it how we see it. That's the strength that we have. That's the narration that we can put inside of our own book. We can leave a legacy in that aspect. We can be fulfilled in that aspect. Some of the things that we'll ask ourselves, and we going for the end of this book, right? And we coming up on the end of the chapter, at the end of the book, right? And we say, you know what? I want this to be a bestseller. What are some of the things that I would ask myself during this process? First thing I would ask myself is, well, who do I need to become? Better yet, who was I becoming while writing this? Who was I becoming while writing this? What story am I trying to tell? What story am I trying to tell? What impact do I want my life to have? What impact do What impact do I want my life to have? There's truth surrounding this, man. There's truth surrounding this. The ending only feels powerful if the journey was real. Mm, 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 mm. The ending only feels powerful if the journey that you was on was a real one. Drop the mic. Hello. Man, it's those things that allow us to continuously be great. Respectfully. Respectfully great. See, I dropped that in there. Oh, yeah. The stories that we tell ourselves. Stories that we tell ourselves are very, very important. Jokes aside, the stories that we tell ourselves are very, very important. You know, it was wild. I was watching something the other day, and there was a little baby, right? And she was in a room. The baby had to be maybe like literally a baby, maybe 1, maybe 2 years old. The baby's still crawling. So the baby's in a room, and there was a lady in there talking to the baby. The baby smiling, doing all these things. And the lady had pulled out like a little box, and then within the box was like little toys, and the baby picked up the toy, laughing, laughing, laughing. And then after the baby put the toys up, whatever, laughing, laughing, the mother entered the room. So the baby doing the thing, whatever. And the baby had a sibling because they I don't know, they was doing some type of study. So there was a sibling of that baby who was in the room, was another girl. The mother had walked into the room. So the baby's still playing with toys, etc. So the mother, they did it as an experiment. The mother started to use high pitched voice and tone at the daughter, which is her daughter. And the baby looked, and the baby dropped everything. And all of the fulfillment, all of the joy that the baby was having in that moment just left the baby. And the baby was stuck there, literally still, not wanting to move. And then the mother, after he did that, the mother got up and walked outside the room. And then once the mother walked outside the room, the baby just put his head down, stayed there. It 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 shows me how influential people can be in your life. At that age, the baby can't speak for oneself. So the baby can't do for oneself. So what I noticed is that if we have people around us, of course, you as a baby, you know, you don't really have the power to say, let me swap out my parents right now, right? Or whoever, whatever the case may be. What I'm saying is that us as adults being aware of these things, I think that we have to use high levels of awareness and be conscientious of how we treat one another, even in front of our children, of the things that we introduce to them, how we speak, the tonage, all of these things the children pick up, not just the baby. We pick these things up as human beings, but we got a lot of defense mechanisms, so we could deflect very, very easily because we learned how to disguise ourselves as we became adults. We got really, really witty because we learned how to, you know, slip through the cracks. We learned how to disguise ourselves, look like the fly on the wall. We learned these things over time when we were hurt and we were fearful and scared and all of these things. So what I'm saying is that us using more levels of discernment and having, you know, higher levels of empathy for ourselves and other people and other children, it's important that we be mindful in these circumstances and environments where we occupy, where children are around, because we don't know. Yes, you may have the wherewithal to handle that level of disdain in the moment, but you do that around a child, that's eternal until they unlearn those things in their future. So what I'm saying is that we don't want to put each other through that, let alone let our children have a future of misguided people and children, because it's going to affect all of our livelihood. Because now you start breeding more hate. I see the mother saying that the other day, she said, "Why we hating? Why we hating?" This is one out of the two mothers that lost their 12-year-old daughters due to fighting. So one of the mothers was boiled down crying, saying that, yo, we need to stop the hate. We need to stop the hate. Boy, she lost a 12-year-old daughter because she was out there just having a fight and end up going to the hospital, brain damage, life support. She passed. So what I'm saying is that all of these things, if we keep breeding hatred, we're gonna have a destruction in our future. But that starts with us too. Starts with us. How we passing these things down generationally? Because we're making the battles that much tougher for our children. What they're gonna endure. They already got their own issues of this society. When we grew up in a different time, things were a little different. So we managed and we did things a little bit different. They got a different thing that they battle in this day and age, let alone if they're dealing with different levels of trauma that we introduce them to. So all I'm saying is that the scripts that we write, the stories that we write are very, very important. And we don't want to neglect on our responsibilities of being responsible people and having high levels of empathy to not only affect ourselves and our family and our livelihoods, but to affect the whole world. Because we all are following somebody. We all creatures of habit. We all doing things. And sometimes we say, I'm an eye for an eye type of person. So somebody meet you with disrespect. The only thing you know to do is lead back with disrespect. Everybody's just disrespecting one another. Where do we learn the modalities of how to come together and heal one another, have the conversation, say, you know what, hey, you know what, I was misguided, you know what, I did the wrong, or whatever. How do we just come together and problem solve, not creating chaos and creating more problems? Mm. Is there anything that I left off the table? Feel free to let me know. Also, I would love to say that as a disclaimer, there's anything that we talked about tonight that don't serve you and it doesn't apply to you, just let it fly. Understand our intentions isn't here to hurt. We are here to help in any form of fashion. We're just speaking our truths, right? We talked about that journey being meaningful if it was a real one. So now that we writing our own stories, we coming out with our own biopics, we got to be able to tell the truth, being open and honest and transparent, and being able to approach these things from the right manner of saying, you know, at the end of the day, no matter what's going on, no matter what's that person over there doing, that person over there doing, I'm gonna stay true to my purpose and constantly creating an environment where it's a safe one, a safe space. So we're now, so we can communicate with one another. We got a lot of disconnect amongst siblings, amongst family members, amongst children. There's a disconnect. We got to ask ourselves why. Are we sitting down having a conversation with one another? Are we talking to one another? Are we helping trying to heal one another? Simply asking, yo, how you doing today? How you doing today? You okay? Is there something that you want to tell me? Is there something that you want to get off your chest? I'm here to listen because we all need those same type of shoulders to lean on at times. We all need to come together as air lights and be able to communicate on those levels of being able to bring more peace and harmony. Coming together, try to problem solve because we don't want to make this world more difficult for ourselves because we all we doing is intensifying the troubling days to come for the future with the other children and other personnel. If they seen the parents fighting, bicker, and doing all these things, what you think they're gonna pick up innately? It'll be second nature without even thought. It's just a response. It's just a response thing. I mean, it's just a reaction thing. Responding is when you sit down with more time and being able to think through the problem. But we just being reactionary people. Like Jim Rome said when he entered those prison systems, he learned that, dealing with a lot of people that was just reactionary, not bad people, but just didn't know how to communicate from his experiences when he did his workshops. And I'm saying this that these are some of the things that we can take in our own lives and just be more aware of. And saying that let's be more patient with one another. Let's not be so quick to cancel. Let's not be so fast as just to, throw the baby out with the bathwater. We don't got to do those things. Let's just take a deep breath. Find those pockets to where you can, center oneself, bring yourself back. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, we just, we'll go there being impulsive. We don't want to do that because it causes more harm in the near future. Mm. Um. Absolutely, absolutely, Lizzie. This has been a powerful, powerful bill. I always love to leave on a high note, right? Ed, tell Ed, I said, what's Gucci? Tell Ed, I love him unconditionally, man. Ed, my brother, man. I appreciate Ed always tapping in and always making it known that his energy resonate and let his spirit resonate within our chat and with our virtue. Let it just letting his presence be felt, man. Things that's powerful. And that's the beauty of us being able to connect on those levels. That's what I mean. Things like that, those things count. I don't take those things lightly because I know that there are various people that show up in our lives not for no reason. So I'm very, very keened in on the presence and the spirits and the energy of people at all times. So my awareness is up because I know that there are signals and signs. There are things that are communicating with me at all times. So I pay very, very close attention to these things because I know that these are the things that's allowing me to navigate and be able to still pick up those scents to get to where I need to get to if I'm out there, on my path and purpose. I need to be able to get to and from. So from here right now, how do I get to those next levels? And there's things, people, places, and things that come into our lives that we attract. And this is what I mean. Things will come to you and they speak to you. So when there's positive energy resonating, it's because we drew that in. If there's negative things that's attracting towards you, that means that you're a host. You're a host for it, meaning that somebody could just enter into your spirit negatively. This right here, we want no bad, no bad, no bad vibes over here. No bad energy. So I only want to be a host of positivity and the confirmation of that positivity is brothers like Ed, Jonathan, Black, Queen Queen uh Queen Godiva, Hunter Wave, um, Lizzie, Quay, Michael Spence, all these loved ones that's tapped in real time, making their presence felt. That's what it's about. Um, yes, man. Uh, love others, continue passing along positivity. Don't forget to love yourself even more. Trust yourself, build that connection with oneself. Um, allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself to write that memoir of something special. Because the only person that can write that book is you. So take your time out, be skillful in it, take your time, write it from your perspective, from the truth perspective, because the journey ain't worth it if you ain't telling it from a true perspective. So we know that in order for us to get to that happy ending where it's nothing but fulfillment, that story got to come with truth. That'll be a testimony, and that would be something that everybody pick up as the bestseller. They said, no, that right there, your book is the bestseller because you wrote it of pain, of passion, of truth, of transparency, the ups, the conflicts, the downs, the victorious things. Ultimately, a legacy of you. That's what you leave the people with. A legacy of you. Man, it's powerful. I love you guys unconditionally. Um, love yourself even more because that's ultimately what we're here to do and be able to pass forward your experience, your life, your energy, and have levels of empathy for yourself and others because we need it. We need it in order to uh create those next milestones in our lives to be victorious and be winners and be able to write that bestseller. So until next time on the Respectfully Great podcast, it's been a pleasure for everybody showing up, for everybody coming in contact with this message in there in due time. It's been a blessing, and we're going to continue to move forward. This is episode 56. Next week, we're going on 57. 57, 57. Same time, 7 p.m. Thursday. We're tapped in. So I will see you soon. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And I seen this on the other video. There's another video coming up soon. It'll be somewhere over here. Tap into that video uh, to tap into more of our respectfully great content. Until next time, love yourself. I will see you soon. Respectfully.